Hello, my name is Megatron Bison and welcome to this Let's Play for Resident Evil on the PlayStation. This time I'll be playing through Chris Redfield's game. And Chris's game, as I had mentioned in my previous Let's Play for Jill, is considerably harder than Jill's game. It's actually labelled the hard mode game in Japan. And Chris only gets 6 item slots, as well as only starting with the knife. He also won't be getting a bazooka. Chris really gets the shaft. But anyway, it's time for the intro, so let's that roll go.
Alpha Team is flying around the forest zone situated in northwest Raccoon City, where we're searching for the helicopter of our compatriots Bravo Team, who disappeared during the middle of our mission.
Found it?
No, I haven't found it yet. Bizarre murder cases have recently occurred in Raccoon City. There are outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten. Bravo Team went to the hideout of the group and disappeared.
Look, Chris!
It was Bravo Team's helicopter. Nobody was in it. But strangely, most of the equipment was still there. However, we soon discovered why.
Hey! Come here! Run for that house!
There are only 3 STARS members left now. Captain Wesker, Jill, and myself. We don't know where Barry is.
I got a shotgun. Chris Redfield. Jill Valentine. Barry Burton. Rebecca Chambers. Albert Wesker. Biohazard.
I don't know what happened.
Barry! Where's Barry?
Well, I'm sorry, but he's probably...
No. What is that?
I'll go and check.
Okay, Jill and I will stay in the hall in case of an emergency.
Chris? Take care.
And with that, Chris's game begins. So, first things first, we're going to be going straight to the zombie, and I should also be pointing out that Chris, like I said, only gets the knife here, so I'm not very good with the knife combat, so and the fight with this zombie isn't going to go so well for me. And it's zombie time. As you can see, the zombie's got, the knife has got very poor range, and the zombie just keeps coming for you. It's still a lot better than the knives that ended up in Resident Evil 2 and 3. For some reason, in those games, they made the knives take roughly 18 hits to kill a zombie, which is just far too many. Sometimes in this game you can take them out in about 5 hits or so, but I don't have any such luck here. And I thought he was dead here and decided to run down and check out Kenneth, but he was actually still alive. Again, always check out for those pools of blood. Again, we'll be getting the ammo from Kenneth here. Oh, and that intro was actually the Japanese intro, hence it was coming up with Biohazard at the end. Oh, the zombie's finally down here. Well, it's time to go report this to Jill and Wesker. Kenneth's dead.
Wesker? Jill? What happened to Jill and Wesker?
They appear to have disappeared, Chris. But hey, we've got Jill's gun here. I think we'll be taking that. In that original Biohazard intro, the reason why I wanted to put it in there was just so you could hear the ridiculous song playing in the credits that doesn't seem to have any real tune. But I do like the proclamation when Chris first appears of, "I've got a shotgun!" Which is quite ridiculous. Oh, and the woman's virtually tuneless vocals, but you might see that wee item shining there. And that's one of the small keys I'd mentioned before in Jill's game. Chris doesn't have a lockpick, as well as having less item slots. So you're always going to have to use the small keys to open the drawers, which usually contain extra ammo, which Chris is really going to need. But yeah, we got no special cutscene out here. Instead, we're just going to be taking pistol bullets and then, oh dear, poor Forrest, pecked to death by crows. And the crows actually attack us here because we don't have Barry watching over us. But you just quickly run out. The crows can be put down at a single bullet, but why bother wasting the ammo? Initially, Chris is going to need every bullet he can get, really. But we'll be checking out over here. Because without a sword key, we're not going to be able to do much on the east side of the mansion. So we're going to have to try and find that. Because again, no lockpick for Chris. And we're back into the dining room again. One good thing about Chris is that he can take a few extra hits. In comparison to Jill anyway, but to be honest, one of his problems is just the lack of ammo slots. If he had more item slots, it would be a lot better. You could do without the bazooka. The bazooka really does make the game a lot easier, especially given how early you can get it in Jill's game. The shotgun's usually quite sufficient for the better part of the game until you get the Colt then. But for Chris, just those 6 item slots mean you really have got to start planning on your route and what you're going to be taking with you. You don't have the luxury of being able to carry extra guns with you. You just have to be very, very careful. And really, dodging zombies is probably a very good idea with Chris for the better part. This room doesn't really afford you that luxury. So it's time to spend almost all the ammo I have clearing these zombies out of here, because we'll be revisiting this corridor frequently in the game, as you'd seen before in Jill's game. Anyway, Chris doesn't get to hang out with Barry, unfortunately. Instead, he's going to be hanging out with a member of the STARS Bravo team, the rather awful Rebecca Chambers. And let's introduce Rebecca. I'll reload my gun first, and then head into the safe room after taking out the one threatening zombie here. Again, the one hiding under the stairs. He'll not bother you anytime soon anyway.
Whoa! What is it?
What? Oh! Oh no! Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
You must be from the Bravo team.
Yes, I'm Rebecca. Rebecca Chambers. I'm a newcomer. I just joined the STARS Bravo team last month. Well, I'm really sorry. Are you all right?
Yes. I'm Chris Redfield from the Alpha team. Are you the only person here from the Bravo team?
Well, because the helicopter made a forced landing, I just ran into this house anyway, but I
see. There's nothing else you could have done anyway. It's good you're here.
Yes, sir. But it's strange. I serviced the helicopter recently, but something went wrong with the engine. It was such a short flight.
Maybe that's because you're a medic, and medics don't normally service engines. Yeah, Rebecca is extremely annoying. But anyway, that's the sword key that we're gonna need. And I'll cut out the inventory management there. Oh, we've got a lot of handgun ammo again here, as well as this sword key. Again, there's the twee emblem. And time to go.
Well, what should I do now? If you go out to search for the other members, how about letting me come with you?
It's pretty dangerous outside. Let me take care of it.
I understand. For now, I'll wait here, since there are a lot of chemicals in this room and they might be useful. Well, I'll look over the chemicals.
Yeah, there's no way in hell I'm letting Rebecca come with me voluntarily. Maybe if I play the director's cut, but I find her really, really irritating, so I'm just gonna leave her in that room. And it's time for some red zombies to be taken out. I managed to shoot his arm there. In fact, with the zombies in the game, if you're careful enough, you can shoot their arms off and then they can only use their acid spew attack, which is, well, really pathetic and does very little damage. So, it's something you can consider doing, but to be honest, I usually think it's better just to put them down permanently, just with a few bullets to the face. And in the director's cut version of the game, the handgun actually has a random chance of popping the zombie's head, which is really cool. That's one of the few neat additions to the director's cut, as well as the alternate camera angles and a couple of extra different scenes. But there's the first use for our sword key to go into this here room with Itchy Steve's diary. I'll not be reading the diaries this time. That's mainly because I read them all out in Jill's game before, and I'm sure you're sick of my voice acting. But again, Steve doesn't want us reading his diary. I think he's embarrassed about the way he treated the dogs. We'll be wanting those shopping shells, that's the main reason to come in here. And yeah, that's rather embarrassing. Steve actually manages to get a bite out of me. Itchy and tasty. That's our Chris. God, how many bullets does this guy want to take? Down the caution health already. But again, Chris should be able to take one good munch after this here, unlike Jill. I'll just flick through this here. You can pause it if you're wanting to read it again without the trouble of listening to me voice acting. There is one journal, however, that appeared to have missing pages before in Jill's game. And as you might have guessed, it strongly implied that Barry might have been removing those pages. And you'll see why. The first thing you really want to do with Chris is get that sword key and then get it used up entirely as quickly as you can, just to get it out of your inventory slot. I believe there's only 3 doors that require the sword key, and this is one of them. And hey, it's time to go do the old piano puzzle. Well, let's see how good Chris is on the piano. I'll also only be examining Chris's unique items in the 3D viewer. But here's a cutscene again, and Chris unfortunately can't read music.
It's me, Chris.
Is that you, Rebecca?
Ah, it's the Moonlight Sonata.
Can you play? Wait, what is that?
My interpretation is off a little. Chris, may I practice for a while?
See? Just relax and play.
All right.
And yes, further adding to my hatred of Rebecca, she's not even as good on the piano as Jill. Jill got that thing dead on first time round. Whereas Chris, not only does he have to put up with Rebecca's company, but he's also gonna have to put up with her practicing the Moonlight Sonata. It's just a matter of going a few rooms away before Rebecca actually has learnt it. It's not a time-based thing. But I'm gonna head over to the eastern side of the mansion anyway, because I don't really need to get the gold emblem just yet. We only really need to get the helmet key in order to go fight Yawn, and I'm not really in a rush to do that yet, sorry. Not until I get the armor key. I'll get the map again, even though I don't really use it because I know this game too well. And that's the last use for the sword key. One of the unique items in Chris's game. Let's get rid of it. Now it's time to put down some dogs again. Game's dog enemies aren't that bad, especially if you're only fighting one at a time. A single bullet knocks them back down onto the floor, and if you just time your shots correctly, they'll never get near you. Here's dog number 2. Down, boy. Yep, like I said in the previous video, when I encountered the dogs, I say down boy every time I shoot them. I just can't help it. And we'll be needing these handgun bullets again. Running low already. The joys of being Chris Redfield. Again, by this stage with Jill, you could already have a bazooka. I'll be needing that green herb, given that I'm on caution health. And back up to green already, not bad. And let's head into this bathroom. There was nothing in it in Jill's game, but let's see what there is in Chris's game. Hey, it's full of muddy water, this bath. We're going to unplug it. And muddy water is green, so surely that should be murky water. Mud usually is brown. And hey, there's a small key in there. Let's take that. So the first thing you're wanting to do after using the small, or sword key rather, to get over here is to go and get the chemicals. I'll not be bothering with that zombie just yet. If you can avoid zombies, it's always best to run past them as Chris, just to save on ammo as much as you can. At least until you get the shotgun and you can pop their heads in a single blast. To balance things out a tiny bit more in the favour of Chris, one good thing is that he gets considerably more shotgun ammo than Jill, mainly because he's not going to have to get bazooka rounds. But a bit of inventory management, and time to get the chemicals. And then it's time for a little more backtracking once again, which I use just to skip back to here because that backtracking's not really that interesting, is it? Again, I managed to run past that other zombie. I didn't think it was necessary to leave that in for yous. Let's see if Rebecca's learned how to play the piano.
Chris! Chris! You like it?
Oh, that was great.
What is that?
That's a hidden door, Rebecca. Well, it's time to get that gold emblem. Again, same old puzzle. And now we've got that gold emblem, we can put that in the dining room and get the helmet key. And we've got our herbicide. That's pretty good at killing plants.
Chris, are you all right?
Yes, I'm alright, Rebecca. Now piss off back to your room. One cool thing about Rebecca though is that if you go back to the room and you've been injured, she will actually heal you. All you have to do is just hit the action button on her and you'll engage with a bit of dialogue and she'll fill you in a wee bit of Umbrella's history too. And I think she'll do that up to 3 times. She says that she has enough stock to do that. But aside from that there, she's incredibly irritating. We got ourselves a plant to poison. But first, once again, we're gonna have to find out about the tiger with the red eye and the blue eye. And this little puzzle makes a cameo in Resident Evil Code Veronica. It has a few tributes to the Spencer Mansion in it. Resident Evil 5 also did in its DLC mission. It wasn't quite an exact replica of the Spencer Mansion, but it was very, very close to it. And if it wasn't for the repetitive enemies, it probably would have been considerably better than the entirety of Resident Evil 5 itself. But that's not really saying much, is it? Well, time to poison the old plant again. We put in our strawberry crusher. And it turned out the plant preferred the chocolate and banana flavours and dies of disgust. Now it's time to get the armor key, the one we wanted. So let's check it out. Oh, sorry. That one's the shield key. And that's the armor key. I also take a red herb. Might as well keep one in stock. I take it rather than the green herbs because it's good to have them in the storage box. You'll find the green herbs scattered about later. And you can do a wee bit of item combining when you're in the safe room, rather than trying to carry loads and loads of items around or revisit that room. I unlocked that door and I was originally going to try to run past to get to the safe room, but, well, that zombie was going to get me, so I decided to go in there to get the ammo first of all. You could see the broken shotgun was there. And also I'm going to need a small key in that room as well to open the drawer. And to dump off a couple of these items. I'm not going to be needing that shield key just yet. And as you know, I'm not going to need the emblem either. So I'll be dumping that off.
Ah, Chris! This room is fully equipped with medical supplies. I can treat you, except for your major injury. Would you like me to?
Yes, please do something for me, temporarily.
most of these medicines are from Umbrella.
What's Umbrella?
Don't you know? It's a large-scale pharmaceutical company based in Raccoon City.
Oh, I see. And do you know how much of the medicine is usable?
Well, probably there is enough for 2 doses.
Well, that's 2 more heals we've got. And Chris didn't know about Umbrella, despite working in Raccoon City. And it's established in some of the sequel games that Chris couldn't have not really known about Umbrella. I mean, pretty much it's heavily implied that they more or less own the entire city. Chris has to get the broken shotgun in order to get the shotgun, because he doesn't have Barry to kick down the door to save him. And we use that small key and get ourselves the shotgun shells. I'm gonna want to make a beeline here to get to the room with the shotgun, because as you can see, the handgun, although it's useful initially, it doesn't really cut the mustard. And certainly you don't want to be taking on the snake or multiple dogs only using a handgun. I use my armor key here. And it's time to take out the old red zombie. Yeah, he didn't take that many hits. I use my small key here and get myself some shotgun ammo. I'm stockpiling up on that. And there's some handgun ammo as well. Again, there's no point going into that back room just yet. There is an ink ribbon and a green herb in it if you're particularly desperate for either item, but really the only reason to go there is if you've got the special key from finishing the game, and then you can change costume. And well, that was a strange PS1 era bonus gift. The idea of getting a free costume for finishing the game. And now instead we pay for it with DLC. Isn't that fantastic? We'll use the armor key here. Again, out there it's just a load of green herbs. And I'm feeling tough again, so why bother going there? Well, it's time to get the shotgun. And again, the emulator seems to go very glitchy in this room. I guess it's hinting to us that there is a crushy roof, but I'll not be showing that off. And finally we have the old trusty shotgun for Chris. And get rid of that stupid broken shotgun. And I don't foresee I'll be using the handgun anytime soon now. Now we're going to want to explore more of this eastern wing of the mansion. I'll be wanting to use the armor key up. So there's a couple of extra rooms to check out, and they've got ammo as well. Shotgun ammo at that, which is cool. And it's the old crow room puzzle. So again, I'll not bother explaining this. You've seen the riddle before in Jill's video. You're just going from the portrait of the youngest to the portrait of the oldest, the bold old man. Now, if you get the puzzle wrong here, the crows will actually start to attack you. And they'll also start to attack you if you shoot at them with the gun. But if you get the puzzle right, they just stand there and they don't bother you. So obviously you want to get that puzzle right. And there's the old star emblem. I just thought I'd pick that up now, just so I could throw it into the old storage chest. Since we were in the neighborhood, why not rather? And there's the old green zombie again. Boom. Nothing beats the shotgun in this game. I'd have to say that next to the shotgun in Doom, especially the double barrel shotgun from Doom 2, it's possibly one of my favourite video game shotguns of all time. Nice satisfying blast, and again just mushes the zombies' heads up, can ruin the dogs. It's pretty much the only weapon you really want to use against the hunters until you get a Colt. It's multi-purpose. Until Chris returns to the mansion, it's the only upgraded gun he's gonna get. Otherwise you're just stuck with the pistol. Like I said, there's no bazooka and acid rounds or flame rounds for Chris. First of all, I'm gonna head over here. It's in this here room. Instead of getting bazooka rounds, we're gonna be getting some shotgun rounds, which, as I've said before, are very precious to Chris. Again, we drain the fish tank, and that way we can push it to the side so that we're able to move the bookshelf across to find the little hidden storage cabinet. And finally, we're going to be able to read the full diary of Martin Crackhorn over here, so let's check that out. Researcher's will. My dear Alma, the fact that you have received this letter is both a joy and a sadness for me. I could not even talk to you because of that guy in the sunglasses. Alma, be calm and read this. I think I've told you that I moved to a pharmaceutical company's lab. They headhunted me last month. There was an accident in the lab and the virus escaped and we were studying. All my colleagues who were infected by the virus are dead. To be accurate, they've become the living dead. They still wander around. Some of them are knocking on my room door desperately right now, but there's no sign of intelligence in their eyes. That cursed virus takes away all humanity from the human brain. Love, joy, sorrow, fear, humour, eternally. And Alma, even the memories of the days I spent with you. Yes, I'm infected. I did everything I could, but I could only delay the progress by a few days. The most frightening thing is that I forget more about you by the day, so I chose a peaceful death rather than becoming the living dead. Within an hour I will have entered my eternal sleep. I do hope you'll understand my decision. Goodbye forever and yours, Martin Crackhorn. And yeah, without those pages removed, you can see that it was a lot more incriminating. It mentions that guy with the sunglasses for one, which is a pretty broad hint at Wesker's involvement with Umbrella. Not only that, but we found out very quickly that it was a genetically engineered virus, if we read that entry. Jill can get it if you're following the regular route through the game. But I quite like going for the route where Barry's covering things up just for a little change. Okay, we got ourselves a lighter and some further shotgun ammo in there. We're not going to be running out of shotgun ammo anytime soon, it looks like. Down goes that zombie again. No real threat with the shotgun now, even in these confined corridors. As long as you're judging the distance correctly, you'll always get a one shot against them. And we light the old fire just to get this map again. I didn't really need to get this map. Like I said, I don't really consult it any time in the game, but I just wanted to get both uses out of the lighter. I'll have to use it in the room with Richard in order to actually get some extra shotgun shells. And there's the old room. And there he goes again. Head pops like a big watermelon hit with a big hammer. And that's the armor key used up. I was deliberately doing that so I could pick up more items. And again, you get to the stage where he's just about able to bite you, and then just let one blast out. And this non-puzzle again, cover the vents. And then you hit the button in the middle of the room. Otherwise, you set off poison gas and the chest doesn't open. And it's the sun crest. So we've almost got all the crests that we need. Unfortunately, we have to get that moon crest, which is being guarded by the big snake. And are we gonna have to go get Richard some serum again? No, not this time. Richard's dead. Oh well. That's good. Well, it's not really that good for Richard, but it's good for us that we don't have to waste time getting him serum for him to die anyway. At the same time, we no longer get a radio from him, so now we can't have those enchanting conversations with Brad. I deliberately used the key on the door there just to free up an item slot. And I'm heading in here to light the candle again so I'm able to get some extra ammo. And like it said before, if you see a 3D model shelf, chances are it can be moved. And speaking of the snake, it's time to take it on. I reload my gun. I was able to take it out with the shotgun and Jill's game, even though I should have been using the bloody acid rounds, but this time I decided to go for a different tactic against the snake. I decided to be stingy with my ammo and try to lure him away so I can get that there moon crest without getting attacked. Or so I thought. In fact, Jan manages to box me into the corner here. And I really am very, very much in the shit right here. I was quite panicking whilst I was actually playing this because I really did think I was gonna get killed. I should have just forgot about those shells since I had the item I needed. And that hissing he does signifies that he's actually about to swallow you whole. So I was very lucky to get away when I did.
Am I poisoned? Damn it, give me serum. Is that you, Rebecca?
Chris, are you all right?
Yeah. What happened?
You were bitten by a poisonous snake. Are you okay?
My head is killing me.
I think you'll be all right because I gave you a shot. But please stay out of trouble.
You saved my life. I owe you one.
Well, it seems Chris can't take poison as well as Jill, and he just collapses like a big girl's blouse. But Rebecca managed to be useful there and bring us back to the room and use the serum and heal us to full health, so it wasn't so bad after all. And now we have all the crests, so we're wanting to leave the mansion. And I cut out the backtracking. Again, there's no enemies to encounter on the way there. I'd taken all out on the route. So no real threat here. And there's another dog again. And pop goes the weasel. Again, if you're playing Jill's game on the regular route, when you get poisoned by the snake, if it manages to bite you, that is. If you're playing the regular route, Jill will say that she needs the serum, and then she'll faint as well. And instead, Barry will walk in and have healed you. But when Jill wakes, Barry's gone. I'm not sure why he doesn't really stick around to check out if she's okay. Maybe he just feels embarrassed about looking out for her so much. Same old puzzle here. We're going to be getting the crank, which is necessary, as you know, to get down into the garden towards the guardhouse. And there's a small key in Chris's game on the Sparrow. As you might remember, in the guardhouse there are several drawers that you can use the small keys on, so that's why I needed to pick up that one there. And hey, I can make one whole green and red herb here, so let's do that. Again, the lack of slots, it's such a pain in the butt for Chris. I'll take an additional red herb. The zombie dogs here. Well, again, it's best to try and get as many of them bunched together as possible, so you can double up your shotgun blasts. They usually take 2 to 3 each if they're up close. You could probably run past those dogs as well, but I chose not to this time. And yeah, it's time to use the square crank. I like to check out the end of that there just so I can differentiate them later in the game when you get the hexagonal crank. And away goes the water again. And it's time to run past those deadly snakes once more. Now hopefully I'll be able to show off a neat trick with the dogs here. And that is, if you're walking, a lot of the time, quite like the lickers in Resident Evil 2, if you walk instead, they won't actually be able to detect your presence as well. And usually won't attack you, so you can carefully just walk outside their range and they'll probably not go for you. It's not always guaranteed, but it's always worth a try too, especially if you've got a bit of health to burn. As you see, I just slowly walk past these guys and then run when I'm past the third dog. You see that as soon as I started to run, that's when he done his jumping lunge. And in here there's 3 dogs. And again, I don't really want to use that shotgun ammo or health items fighting them, so I walked past that second dog and then start running, and the third one wasn't able to get me. And I've arrived in the guardhouse, which is going to be towards the end of my video here. Well, I'll just get to saving first. First of all, I'll get this statue pulled over the vine hole. I'll maybe show off in the director's cut the vine attacking. It's just a pain in the butt. I'm not sure why they put it into the game, but we'll cover it up anyway here. And I'm gonna have to dump off a few items. That crank for one. And I don't think I'll need to heal anytime soon in here. It's mainly just zombies. I don't need the lighter, so I don't know why I picked that up. I'm just happy with my shotgun and my small key. There's the first aid spray. And also down there is some handgun ammo. And I go over here thinking that there was an ink ribbon there, but there isn't. So again, I have to do a bit of inventory management. And then go find the nearest ink ribbon so I can save my game. Again, if I was playing with Jill, I could have left an ink ribbon in my slot when I was making my way down here. But Chris doesn't have that luxury. And in this room we've got the control room key, which we'll need to get into the basement room to drain water. Again, it's the so-called muddy water. It looks a lot more swampy than anything. Yeah, we'll be taking that. And again, don't forget to bring a small key for this room if you want to get some ammo. Which, of course you do. Ah, fuck off. And some more shotgun ammo. Like I said, to make up for the fact that Chris only gets the shotgun in comparison to the bazooka like Jill, they really give out the shotgun shells like candy. And inside this little cup, you got yourself a small key. So we'll be needing that again for yet again some more shotgun ammo. But as you know, with Plan 42 being here, and Chris not having a bazooka, we need all those shotgun shells we can get. And yay, we got ourselves that ink ribbon. And I may as well check out what the combination is for the puzzle room this time. And it's 1, 2, 4, 5. Unlike Jill, no matter what, Chris is always too stupid to mix chemicals. So he'll not be poisoning the Plant 42 either. But we've reached the end of this Let's Play. I'll do a bit of inventory management before saving the game. This has been part 1 of Let's Play Chris's game for Resident Evil on the PS1. I've been Megatron Bison, and thank you very much for watching.